morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everybody. Hello, my name is Tosan. I'm chiming in from Canada. I'm a member of a great team here at Being Learning, and with me today is James. James,
Hi, Tosan, and great to be with everybody today. My name is James Adibayo, and I want to say thank you for joining this great session. And it's an honor to be anchoring this with Tosan. Tosan,
so we'd like to know where everybody is chiming in from, who is out there, so we don't think we're just talking into space. So if you could drop in the chat box your name, where you're chiming in from, we would love to hear that. So I'll just give people a few minutes to type that in.
wouldn't it be great, Tosan, knowing people joining from every part of the world, from Nigeria, obviously myself and yourself here from Canada and folks all around the world. So please, let's put in the chat where you're joining us from around the world.
James, we're beginning to see some people from there's someone from Katsina in Nigeria, there's
There you go.
someone from Nigeria, Calgary,
Mm,
Boston.
amazing.
Wow, that is so nice. Good to know there are people out there, there are humans out there, not just robots, right, James?
True, true.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm part of a great team here at Being Learning, and what Being Learning is a learning and development organization, and we exist to provide world-class training services to individuals, institutions, and organizations all over the world. But we don't just focus on training and certifications. We're also interested in the all-round development of professionals to ensure they live a value-driven life. In fact, you'll actually get to experience with the lineup of speakers we have here today. James, is there anything you want to say about being at learning?
No, don't get me going, Tosan. If you ask me to say things about Peanut, no, it's
Yeah,
an amazing organization. And as you said, it's not about just coming, training, and letting people go wild. Is that mentoring, supporting people, helping people? And Tosan, I know we'll speak more to some of those initiatives and projects of helping people grow in their career that Binet Learning had been putting out there for many people around the world.
yeah, that's great. I just looked at the chat box and there's actually somebody from Angola joining us today.
Yeah.
Welcome to Finishing Strong.
Welcome to
So this is our
everybody.
third year of running this event, and every year it's just gotten better and better. It's an annual virtual event where professionals from different industries and sectors gather together with an objective to end the preceding year on a strong note and provide momentum for the next year. Now, each year, we've chosen a theme for the event, starting off with 2020, and that was definitely a year that will go down in the history books. We asked ourselves as a team to come up with positive words to describe the year. And in light of that, and looking forward to the new year, the theme for Finishing Strong 2020 was achieving professional career success in the face of adversity. Then came 2021, and we were all learning to adapt to the changes. And our theme for Finishing Strong 2021 was the new norm, leveraging change for career growth and professional advancement. You can feel free to head over to our YouTube channel to watch the recordings of those events. There on our channel, you also find other recordings for similar events we've had throughout the year. So here we are, 2023. Now, it's no news to myself or yourself that the world is kind of still in a transitioning and adapting phase. We're just learning how to react to the events of the past few years. And with all the uncertainty, growth could be a distant or maybe for you a strange concept. But history has always shown that individuals who take charge of things usually end up better. So for us here at BNet, we really want professionals to have that growth mindset, regardless of what's happening in the world, regardless of what's happening globally, nationally, and even in your own city, which is why for our theme this year, we've chosen you, your year of upgrade. The dictionary describes upgrade as raising something to a higher standard, in particular to improve yourself or something by adding, replacing, or even subtracting things. And that's what we at BNet want, not just for ourselves, but also for you. So just a reminder, it's a 2-day event. Saturday and Sunday, today and tomorrow. And really, you don't want to miss a second of both days. We have a great lineup of speakers, and each day is packed with different sessions and great presentations. And our presenters have experiences that cover a great array of things. We can all learn from them. So bring out your notebook, take notes, and let's make it a weekend to rejuvenate and get ready for a year of you. So how will it go? We'll start off with Samuel Shuaibu. Sam is a great friend of BNet, and he will speak to our theme for this event. Then we'll split up from this main meeting into breakout sessions, and depending on what topic you find interest in, there are different rooms for that. Once we return, we'll come back to another great presentation and close out Saturday. Sunday, we'll continue with Sam, and he will continue his presentation, answer any questions that he couldn't address today. Then we'll introduce a couple of our initiatives that James had mentioned. There's a Catalyst program and there's a YPSP program. You wouldn't want to miss that. So if you have any questions throughout the day, feel free to put that in the chat box, and members of my team are looking at your questions and will make sure that they are addressed and answered. But first, let's kick off things with prizes. I don't know about you, James, do you like prizes?
Yes, I do. I do, yes. Please. Can I win today? Can I win, yes. Tosin, please?
So the first one we'll kick off is for early birds. You know, those ones who get the biggest worm sometimes. And this is one of those times. Let me just say there will also be chances throughout the day to win prizes. So you do not want to miss a second, as I said. So stay plugged in. However, at the end of today, there is a prize for engaged participants. And members of our team are watching the chat box. They are listening to all the questions, and they will pick those winners. So let's make sure you're out there and you're real. So who are the winners for our early bird? Let's take a look at those names. James, do you want to read them out?
Yes, I can, for sure, Tosin. So we have, as the first prize winner under the early bird, Divine Inwakama. Divine Inwakama. We have Oye Sufu 7. Oye Sufu 7. We also have, as part of the prize going to our early bird, Ifo Gene Izezi, and I apologize if I don't get the names right. I apologize. Ifo Gene Izezi, and then we have Tayo, and finally we have Miriam Wazu. Miriam Wazu. Those are the 5 people, early bird winners for this year, finishing strong.
Oh, congratulations to all our names. And as James said, the wonderful thing about the world is that there's a diversity of names, and sometimes it's difficult to get those. So sorry if we butcher any of your names as we're going forward. But congratulations to all our winners, and our a member of the team will reach out to you directly to talk about your prize and how to get that to you. So congratulations once more. So let's jump straight into the program. As I said, our theme is Year of Upgrade. And to achieve this upgrade, Sam will be speaking to how you can seize opportunities to achieve personal and professional growth. Let me tell you a bit about Sam. Sam is a peak performance coach, and he helps professionals and entrepreneurs grow their influence, expand their businesses, and create remarkable results. He's a John Maxwell certified coach, he's a teacher, and he's a speaker. He offers workshops, seminars, keynote speaking, and coaching, and he aids personal and professional growth. One thing you'll come to learn about Sam is that he is passionate about people's empowerment. And he has over a decade of experience helping individuals and organizations achieve professional growth by using anything from one-on-one coaching, personal talks, and also corporate on-site training. Over to you, Sam. Sam?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud.
Okay. I apologize. I thought I had my my mic turned on there. Thank you so much. I'm greatly honored to have to be speaking at your event today again. I was just reflecting. I was like, oh, it's been 12 months since we had this one, and here I am again. And it's just testament to what you guys are passionate about as well, which is, helping people, enabling them and empowering them to grow in their careers. And that's where I guess we both have shared values, and I'm honored to be here once again. Thank you so very much. James, nice to see you.
Nice to have you on board, Sam. You've been a great part of empowering people. So yeah, take it away.
Awesome. Okay, so let me share my screen here. Hopefully I'm able to do that. 1 second. Can you see my screen now?
I can just see your face, Sam.
My face?
Yeah.
Okay, now I know what's happening. Okay. I'm presenting, but I'm not sharing my screen yet. Okay, so this is where I need to be, share my screen. Okay, can you see that now?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Is it visible enough?
For me, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, so I assume it should be fine for everyone.
Yes, in the chat box, somebody said yes.
Perfect, awesome. Okay, so today I'm talking to you on seizing opportunities to achieve personal and professional growth. Like some of you may already know me, but I'll just go ahead and talk a little about myself here. I help internationally trained professionals looking for new opportunities to go from being stuck in their underpaying jobs to leveraging their assets so they can grow their income in a more fulfilling career.
Sorry, Sam.
I'm also
sorry. There's something that says audience window that is blocking part of that.
Okay, let me see if I can close that. Is that good now?
Much better.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so like I was saying, again, it's my privilege to spend the next couple of minutes here with you on a topic that has changed my life, and which is why I'm so passionate about the subject of personal growth. Today, like I said, I'll be speaking on seizing opportunities, and I believe that each one of you listening to me here today is unique, right? And I bet you'll also agree with me that there's no one here right now that believes they have reached or attained their full potential in life. And the reason is because we all believe we have room to grow. We have room to grow. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this session today. Humans are wired to seek fuller expression and expansion of their potential. That's the way we are. And most people want that. But why isn't that the case for most individuals? Personal and professional growth is not natural in most people's lives. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. We have got to be intentional about it. And growing yourself daily guarantees that you'll be better today than you were yesterday. Right? Now, just as I was preparing for this session, I went on and I Googled personal growth. And guess what came up? About 2.6 billion results. So before we go any further, I just want to, state that we may not have enough time to be able to delve deep into all we have to share with you here today, but we'll see what we can do. Okay? We'll see what we can do with these principles. And for those that might be interested in wanting to find or to take on that journey, I'll share with you at the end how you can do that. But for the sake of our talk today, I bet we all know what opportunity is, but for the sake of our discussion today, let's all go into this session with this in mind. Opportunity it's a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something, achieve something, or advance in something, right? It's a set of circumstances that makes it possible to either do something, achieve something, or advance in something. Remember, the topic is seizing opportunities, okay? But why do we need to seize opportunities? Why do we need to seize them? Why don't we just walk into opportunities at leisure? And the reason is because opportunities are slippery. They gravitate to the people whose minds have been prepared to attract them, just as surely as water will gravitate towards the ocean. And if you're not attuned to the consciousness of those circumstances, you may never recognize missed opportunities. You may never recognize them. Recently, I renewed my my mentorship with the John Maxwell team. Now, for some of you that don't know me, I'm licensed and coached and mentored by John Maxwell. And middle of last month, I shared this story in our last coaching session that we had with the Growth Casa. Middle of last month, I renewed my mentorship. And when this came up, when mentorship renewal came up last year, for some reason, I dilly-dallied, I was waiting, I procrastinated, and then I forgot about the email. So I was locked out of mentorship for the last 12 months. So in the middle of the middle of last month, when the opportunity came up again, I went up and I renewed, okay? So as soon as I got access, I went into the closed Facebook group, and I started scrolling through. I wanted to see what other coaches were doing, what successes they were having, what their trends were, what trends they had, what trends they had established. And I started scrolling through as far back as, the last 2 years. When I was done with that, I started checking, okay, who are some of the people that I knew or that I know that were in mentorship with me before I was locked out. And then one name came to mind, a guy called Cedric. So I searched Cedric inside the closed Facebook group, and his name popped up, and I started scrolling. And I started seeing, the consistency of his results. And so I left the closed Facebook group, and I went onto his own personal Facebook page, and I started scrolling as well. Started scrolling through his page until this image jumped out at me. And this is what it literally says. It says, it looks like a calculator, but it's dollars that are already awarded to the name of his organization for 2023. And it says, if your business doesn't have $2023 locked in to date, you're not working it right. And then it goes on to say that on Monday, November 28th at 7 p.m. Central Time, it says, you need to be on my soft skills how-to call. Register to be in the room. When I saw this image, this is $170,000 worth of training and coaching that he has locked down for the upcoming year. The year hasn't even started. This year hasn't even ended. But looking at this figure, you could say that this guy already has closed 2023 before starting. And I started wondering. I mean, we're all in mentorship together. We have access to John Maxwell. We all have access to the mentorship team. We have access to these mentors. We could get on their calls, ask them questions. But even in mentorship, there are certain people that are doing extraordinary things. So I wasn't just going to, I've been out of mentorship for like a year. So I wasn't just going to sit and wait. Okay, when is the next coaching call, or when is the next mentorship call? So what did I do? I sent him this long chat, this long message on Facebook Messenger. And I said, hi, Cedric, my name is Sam from GMT. You may or may not remember me, but you have been quite helpful in the past. First off, I want to say I am greatly inspired by your work. I said I've spent the last hour or so going through the comments in the mentorship group as far back as 2020, and also on your personal page. And I must say I am blown away by your already built trainings for 2023 that is yet to start. And I said, the reason why I said I went on and I looked for familiar names in the group, and you were one of those that came to mind, especially as your face is on the, so if you go onto the face, John Maxwell homepage, his name is you see his picture on that page. And then I started to explain to him, just in case he doesn't remember who I am. I joined the John Maxwell team in 2015. I've been to 2 IMCs. Right now, it feels like I'm starting from the scratch because I just told him I just recently renewed mentorship. And I said, I'll greatly appreciate connecting more with you just to see how you are doing this. And of course, he responds, I remember you, we connected a while back, and then he goes and he says all these other things. Right? So I had to reach out to him because, I mean, there must be something this guy knows, or there must be something he's doing that I need to learn. So I registered for that, for the call. He was saying, that's me there and that's him. I joined the call. Now he's in Central Time. They are 1 hour behind us. This training was supposed to be for 7 p.m. I mean, I wasn't looking at the time conversion. So by 7 p.m., I was sitting in front of my computer, and the session hadn't started. So I sent him another chat, and I'm like, hey, I'm sitting down here right now. I'm wondering what's happening. And he laughed. He said, oh, it's 8 p.m. It will be 8 p.m. my time. It's 7 p.m. their time, 8 p.m. my time. I said, no worries. I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to wait for the next 1 hour. Listen, you have to be intentional about your growth. Remember, I said opportunities are slippery, and that's why the theme of the program is that you need to seize it. They are slippery, so you need to seize opportunities when they show up, and that's if you recognize them at all. Right? Why do we need to seize them? Because they are slippery. That's why we need to seize them. So for those of you, I mean, for you to be able to seize personal or professional growth opportunities, I've streamlined the process into 3 things, which I believe you need to acquire. And I call them the 3 growth buckets. Number 1, you need to develop a growth mindset. 2, you need to create a growth environment, or strive to continually be in a growth environment. And then 3, you need to increase your capacity for growth. 3 things. Now, each of these buckets is made up of 5 principles. We may not have the time to go through all, but we'll see how far we can go. The first one, develop a growth mindset. And we'll be looking at the concept of intentionality. We already established that principle. Growth doesn't just happen, whether personal or professional. If you're going to grow, you need a plan, because people don't grow by accident. How do you think the building where you are in here, where you're in right now, was built? In what order were the parts of the building put in place? The contractors didn't just start construction. They found an architect who translated their design into paper, right? Taking into account the size of the piece of land, the details, and all the moving parts of the project. So the plan gave them a framework. Now, how many of us have a well-outlined plan of action to grow or for growth? I think it was James Allen that said, if you focus on your goals, you may hit the goals, but that doesn't guarantee growth. But if you focus on growth, you will grow and you will always hit your goals. As professionals, a lot of times we are focused on the goal of growing in our profession. And we forget about developing ourselves as individuals. We forget about developing ourselves as individuals. I mean, after I renewed mentorship, I could have just, relaxed and gone back into, okay, we'll just wait for when the next sessions are. I'll just wait, I'll hop onto the next call. But I realized that I've been out of this environment for 12 months. That's a long, I'm part of other training programs that I attend, but each and every one of those associations provide me with unique opportunities, right? And that's why I went a step further and I reached out to this guy. We're both in mentorship. We both have access to the same resources. But because I understand the place of individual empowerment, and I'm continually striving to improve myself. Another law under developing a group mindset is the law of awareness. You need to know you to grow you. You need to be highly self-aware. You need to be highly self-aware. And if you don't see value in yourself, you'd never think you are worth the time to invest in yourself. If you don't see value in yourself, you'd never believe you are worth the time or the investment to grow you as an individual. And that's why we find ourselves, the reason why most people don't grow is because we get caught up in these gaps. In these gaps. I don't have the time. It's not the right time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe sometime tomorrow, maybe sometime in the future, maybe next month when I'm done with this, when I'm done trying to arrange myself, maybe next month, maybe next quarter, maybe next year. Or we get into expectation gap, we get into the comparison gap. How good am I? Am I as good as that guy? That guy appears to be better than me. And we get caught up in all of these gaps. But you see, those opportunities, like I said, you may never recognize them because you're not attuned to the consciousness of those opportunities. By the end of my first year in university, I was at a CGP of 1.1 in 100 levels. 1.1. How did I get there? I mean, right now I can look back right now and tell you how I got there, but back then I didn't realize. I didn't know what happened. It just appeared as it was as if I blinked and opened my eye and I was at the end of the session. 1.1. Now, I was a pretty decent student, and this is not one of those stories where every parent tells their child they were at the top of their class. I was an excellent student. But how I ended up at 1.1 GPA at the end of my first year in university, I was amazed. I was amazed. And for the years afterwards, I found myself playing catch up. I studied geology. And if you know anything about geology, you know that those oil companies are not looking for anybody with a third class. So I struggled year after year just so I could meet up. But I was, the damage had been done. By the time I graduated, I left with a 2.2. I barely missed a 2.1. But the damage had been done. I fell into these gold crab traps. I got caught up here. So how do you begin to make that shift between accidental growth and intentional growth? People that experience accidental growth are always planning to start tomorrow. And the guy with intentional growth insists on starting now. This guy waits for growth to come. And this one takes responsibility. This one learns from mistakes. This one learns before the mistakes happen. I learned from my mistakes. This guy quits early and often. This one perseveres long and hard. In the book Think and Grow, which Napoleon Hill says, persistence is an essential quality in the translation of your dream into physical reality. This guy talks big all the time, but this one will always follow through with action. Right? How do you begin to make that transition? These are the things you need to do. Ask the big questions now. Typo, I included management. But always ask the big question now. What are the questions? What do you want in life? It appears as if in all of my coaching calls that we had in 2020, in this last year with the participant from Growth Casa, there was never any coaching call I didn't talk about what do you want in life. It's the most easiest question, but the most difficult to answer. So you need to always ask that big question. What do I want in life? What direction do I want to go? What's the farthest I can imagine going? How long would it take? Not having all these answers to these questions immediately is quite normal. But ask them and keep exploring the options. Face the fear factor. Whether it's the fear of failure, the fear of trading security for the unknown, the fear of being overextended on your resources, the fear of what others might think. And then do it now. Do it now. Don't follow the education of the masses. Do it now. I think I may be out of time. Right? So that's how far we'll go in today's session. Tomorrow we'll go further and we can take questions, or if we're able to take some questions now, I'll if we have that time. But for now, my time is up, and we'll take it further from there tomorrow. Thank you for the opportunity once again, and I'm highly honored.
Thank you so much, Sam. I think I'm looking through the chat box, and I think once you ask the question, what do I want in life? People have to pause for a few moments, and it's good that we have you coming tomorrow again. So I think let's do that as homework, right? Let's do that as homework, and what do I want in life, and let's hold that for tomorrow. I think we have time for one question. Somebody does say, yes, that's very correct. That question you asked, what do I want in life, is a very difficult question. But I think we'll take one that came from Farah, that, you had this slide that had accidental growth and intentional growth. Is there a middle line? Do you think there is a middle line?
There is no middle line, because I mean, like the Bible says, you're either hot or cold. You can't sit on the fence. What do you want? There shouldn't be a middle line, in between what you want. It's either you want this or you don't want it. And for as long as that clarity is, as long as there is no such clarity, you'll always find us like this. We'll always keep dilly-dallying. So there shouldn't be a middle line. It should be as clear as light and day.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. we'll collate all the questions we have, and it's great that we're having you tomorrow so that we can also, any questions we have, we'll pass on to you and you can make it part of your presentation tomorrow.
Amazing. That'll be amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I can see someone's hand up. If you could just put your question in the chat box, that would be great. Thank you. So another chance to win some more prizes. And on the slide is I don't know if you're familiar with Slido, but it's an easy platform to put in a number and let's join the quiz. You can also scan the QR code, which is on the screen. A link will be put in the chat box, and yes, we'll be using that to find winners if you can provide the right answers to some questions. So just scan that with your camera and we'll start. Please, for those of you with your hands up, if you could put your question or comment in the chat box, that would be great. So the first question that we have, okay, we'll just give, how many finishing strongs have we done? Give people a minute to answer that. Please use the Slido app to put in your answers, to select your answers. We're not watching the chat box, we're watching Slido. If you're using a mobile phone, the mobile phone, if you can scan the QR code, it will open to, you'll still be on Zoom, but it will also open the Slido page in your browser. You can also go to slido.com and put in the number 1128911. So let's see, give people a few more seconds to select their answers so we can pick a winner. Wow. James, you want to say something about that? The winner is T.
T.
That could be me, but it's not me.
No, it's not you, Tosin.
It's not me. No, it's not. T, a member of our team will reach out to you. So next question. Sam just gave a wonderful presentation. And what is your key takeaway from this session?
Probably to send something for people to be aware of. It's also fastest finger, so you're gonna have to do it fast to be part of it. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See all those.
Tosin, you wanted to ask me what was my key takeaway from this, right?
Yes, I wonder what yours was.
I'm just thinking through what Sam said. I think for me, it's the fact that you need to be aware. You need to know yourself. A lot of us, we're running our race, but we're looking at the man besides us and we'll think, oh, he has this more than me. He has more muscle. Run your race. That's for me, my key takeaway. So be aware of who you are.
I think that's a great one. Yeah, so many good answers coming in. So many good answers coming in.
Be aware and know yourself. Be self-aware. Accidental growth. Do it later. And intentional growth. Do it now. Some good comment, person.
Yes, it's tough to pick one. It's tough to pick one. So, James, I'm going to put you on the spot. You pick somebody. I know you shake your head. Go ahead.
I think there's so many of them. Yeah. Be
Yeah.
intentional, be
Let's go
intentional,
to
be
the first
intentional.
person then.
Let's go to the first person. I like
Let's go
that,
to
Tosin.
fastest fingers.
Yeah, fastest finger. So, Dorcas, who is the first on the list? If we could go to the first person on this list.
That's Sakirat Balogun.
Be intentional, Shakirat Balogun. Amazing.
Congratulations. Amazing. Let's go to the next question then. So here's the next question. And for me, I think this is something that is very key. It's information is good, action is more important. So 2 key actions to be taken in preparation for 2023, according to our speaker. We're talking about actions now, and you have to give us 2, not just 1.
Wow. Tosin, people are really going for it.
No.
This is amazing.
No.
Wow. Have a growth plan, pursue it to the end, be self-aware, be intentional, seek guidance, drop your plan for 2023 and follow through, reflect on yourself, face your, oh, wow.
Wow. It looks like it's blowing up.
I know.
Absolutely.
I know.
Oh
I know. I know. Once it locks in, Sam, thank you for rejoining. I'm going to put you on the spot, and once Dorcas locks it in, she'll scroll through, and you just pick someone. Pick someone.
Okay.
Okay, it's locked in. She's scrolling now, so you can just see.
I think I'm gonna pick. Okay, randomly, I'm just gonna pick. So who is this person typing in with anonymous? How are we supposed to know you're the one?
That's so unfortunate, right? I saw that.
Okay, I think I'm gonna pick. I didn't even made up my mind, but just keep scrolling. Are there more options? Okay, I'm gonna pick Ido.
Let's look back to that. Yeah, be self-aware and pursue growth.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yes, that would be great. That is great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating. And yeah, I think even from the Slido answers, I'm even learning a bit more. So yeah, thank you, Sam.
Just give me 1 second, please. I just want to recognize the presence of someone here. I was just scrolling through the chat here, and this is so I'm going to share. There's a story I'm going to share tomorrow. And I'm glad that there's this guy on this call right now. His name is Okwe Oyadiran. Now, this is somebody that we go way back from, my beginning days of personal growth. And when I share my story, some of these stories tomorrow, if he's able to join on tomorrow, I'd like him to corroborate some of these stories for me, because that's somebody that knows me from way back.
Okay, that'll be good. Sometimes we forget that people have history that
yes,
really speaks to their growth. So yeah, so let's move on to the next thing. It's looking at. I do hope you have your notebooks and you're taking notes, because there's so much to learn. So we're now moving to the breakout sessions, and there are 3 rooms. The first room, we have Rahim, who will be speaking to building an impact-driven career by leveraging digital transformation for competitive advantage. He's a product specialist within the McKinsey digital space, and he brings expertise and experience in acting as a change agent in large-scale agile transformations. Then there's room 2, and the topic is the art of networking with Folusho Badamosi. She's a business technology professional who currently works at Junior Achievement Nigeria. She's an executive director there. She's an author, a speaker, a trainer, and also a Gallup certified strength coach. The third room, room 3, Chineye and Oluwatosin will be speaking to finance management skills needed to thrive, not just survive in 2023. Oluwatosin is a professional accountant with over 10 years of experience, spanning across accounting, audit, financial management, and taxation. She is also the founder and CEO of Money Africa, which is an education technology platform that enhances financial literacy and investments by leveraging technology. Then in that same room, we have Chineye. She's one of my favorite people. She's a dynamic business and finance leader with core expertise in financial consulting, strategic management, and business operations. She works with organizations across countries in Sub-Saharan Africa and North America, as well as managing multiple stakeholder teams. She's a trainer, a chartered accountant, and a certified management consultant. So 3 rooms. Just quickly, building an impact-driven career, the art of networking, and finance management skills. You go ahead, pick your room, join the room, and then we'll be back here in 30 minutes for another great presentation. So you should have a pop-up on your screen that shows the 3 rooms that exist. Once you just click join room, you'll be taken to that room.
So Tosan, you're encouraging people to join rooms. We can see a number of people not joining any of the rooms. Please, there's a breakout room chat box. Just go right into it and assign yourself or move to that particular room. We hope that everybody will be able to join at least one of the rooms and be part of that learning.
It's not automatic, so you need to join the room by yourself.
So we have the first room we have Raheem in that room, and he will be speaking to building an impact-driven career, leveraging digital transformation for competitive advantage. The second room, we have Felicia in that room, and she'll be speaking to master the art of networking. That's something if you would like to join that room. And the third room, we have 2 amazing people, Oluwatosin and Chineye, and they'll be speaking to finance management skills needed, not just to survive, but to thrive in 2023. Tosan, do we see more names not assigned or not moving to rooms?
Yeah, I still see quite a number of people in the main room. So you can only join one breakout room at a time because there'll be presentations there. So you just choose one. You may move during the presentation, but you can only join one breakout room at a time. I'm just looking at the chat box, James.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's good. And if you want to move around, I think you might be able to do that if you come back to the main room, and then you could then see, if you have time to join other room. But like you said, Tosan, it would be one room at a particular time. Okay, I think the list is going down now.
It's getting shorter. I think.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah. I think the 2 of us will just hang out here, right, James?
Yes. Right. We are back. And Tosin, I know you couldn't join the breakout session, but we saw a lot of messages, conversation. I thought it went really, really great.
Yes, James. It's unfortunate, yeah. I have to man our post, but you know the great thing about technology,
Yeah.
they were recorded. They were all recorded.
Amazing. Good.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
what would have been your favorite room if you could join? Which room would you have joined?
Ooh, that would be
Tough
tough.
one.
That
Yeah.
would be tough. I wouldn't let the ladies beat me if I said I was going with Raheem, so I'll keep my mouth shut.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So, yeah, I think I
Yeah,
would have loved to join the ladies' art of networking, but then finance is also very important in order to
very
thrive.
true.
So,
Very true.
and everybody loves an impact career. So,
Yes,
it would
yes,
have been a tough choice. So, once
it would
again,
have
thank
been.
goodness for recording. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you, James.
All right. Probably that's a good place to tell everybody on the call today that we would make the recording available on our YouTube page. So look out for that on our YouTube channel that you'll be able to listen to both Raim and Felicia if you were not in their class, or Tosi and China if you were not in their breakout room. So look out for that. We would post that on our social media handle, and you'll be able to connect with us on our YouTube page to listen to those very powerful and impactful session. And saying thank you also to all of our facilitators within those breakout rooms. All right, let's move forward. As always, in the spirit of giving and the jolly season that we are in, we're going to be giving out another set of prizes, and this set of prizes will go to two people. One will be joining our future trading session in the business analysis space, and the other winner would be for our agile training as a scrum master. So we'll have those two winners being selected now. So let's go for it. The first one would be for our BA training, which is our business analysis training. It will be fully paid by BNet Learning Broadcaster, and you'll be able to join that class at no cost to you. So let's see who's going to win this. Dorcas, let's spin the wheel. Let's see who's going to win this. Emmanuel Ugeri, congratulations. You just won a free business analysis training from Binet Learning Growth Kaza. Congratulations to you. Okay, and the second spin will be for the winner for our Scrum Master training. Let's see who that would be. Let's roll the wheel. Let's go. And that is for Jennifer Umbono. Jennifer Umbono is our second winner, and you've won yourself a free Scrum Master training courtesy of BNet Learning Broadcaster. Our team will reach out to you and we'll work out the details to how you claim your prizes.
James,
Tosan, is it not
quickly.
great? Yeah,
It
please
is
go ahead.
great. Congratulations. But James, quickly, there's a word you've mentioned twice now. Well, a couple of times we've actually said it. I just wanted to speak briefly to what growth CASA is because I just realized that we haven't actually said what it is. So just briefly,
Amazing.
quickly.
Yeah, and I'll do that. So BNet Learning provides training, mentorship in various pace and capacity of learning. But Growth Casa is our corporate social responsibility arm where we are not for profit. What we try to do on that Growth Casa is to network and create a community of professionals where we can help people develop, where we can help people connect. And through Growth Casa, we continue to funnel out many support to individuals, to corporation as a give back to our community. So that's good, Kaza.
Yeah. So you'll probably be hearing that word every once in a while. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
go ahead.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you, Tosan. Let's move to the next agenda because of time. The next is a panel session. And what we want to do in this panel session is really to help everyone on the call today. And there's a popular saying that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But there's another one that is less popular, and it says that our goal can only be reached through a vehicle of plan, meaning for you to get to your destination, the vehicle that takes you there is your plan. And why we must be fervent in believing in our plan, we must also be rigorous in doing the job. There is no other route to success without a plan, and a professional development plan is your guide towards that professional growth. And Sam spoke to us about the need for intentionality when it comes to our growth. This plan, however, must be broken down into manageable steps and goals. It must be practical and it must lead us to that final destination that we wish to get to. Your goal will vary from time to time, and that's totally fine. But you need to ensure you keep on track and measure and adjust where necessary. The word there is you have to find a way to pivot. My two favorite people are the one on the panel session today. The first is Toby. Toby is an HR professional, is currently a manager learning and development within Canadian Pacific Railway, and also is an instructor and he has a number of training on the Udemy platform. Toby, over the last 15 years, has worked in strategic human resource position, not just in Canada, where he's currently based, but across Africa, Asia, and North America. Toby has built broad experience in talent management, organization design, change management, learning, leadership development, and project management. So, Toby, it's an for me, it's a pleasure to have you again join us today. The
Thank you,
second
James.
person is, yeah, thank you, Toby. The second person is John. John is not just a brother, not just a friend, but John is the founder of Binet Learning. And John is an innovative leader with proven experience in business analysis, technology product management, project management, technology entrepreneurship, with a broad spectrum in capacity building, really to help people, not just train them, but build them and support them. And John has worked in many, many organizations in helping teams build operational processes. He has decades of experience in coaching and mentoring, and it's something that he's truly passionate about. So those are our two speakers today. John, Toby, welcome to you both.
Thanks, James.
All right, so let's jump right into it. The act of conscious professional development. Probably let's start from you, Toby. Why do we say this is an act and not a science? And help us understand what this topic really speaks to.
Yes, so I mean, the word arts makes us know that it's not something that has a specific formula to it. Like it's also something that's deliberate. I did enjoy Sam's session earlier when he was talking about, being deliberate about your personal growth. So there are ways to get this done. There is an intentional approach to it. It's not something that is cast in stone and you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things and it happens. You have to pivot many times. You have to look for advice. You have to understand what's going on. It's an art, it's not a science. I hope that kind of gives we'll get into it, but maybe that gives you a little bit of insight to why it's called an art and not a science.
Absolutely. Awesome. John, anything to add to that? Because I would think that when we say science, it looks really more in the line of, hypothesis testing
Structured
and
and
stuff
all
like
that.
that. So
Yeah.
why is it an art?
So, when we talk about the idea of art, I think creative self-expression comes to mind, versus science that is very objective, that is not based on personal opinions or personal feelings. It's more logical, right? The space of art allows you that expressiveness, allows you to leverage self-awareness, allows you to ensure that your definition of the outcome is based on your understanding of self and other contexts around you.
Amazing. All right. So we've made, the definition clear. We understand why it's an art and not a science. Now, Toby, how do we get this going? Where do we start from?
Yeah, so when it comes to personal development, and I don't know if this is the right time, but I do have a concept that I will share. It's actually a model that I had used. Let's see if I can share my screen. I'd used this, many years ago, and I'll say it started from me reflecting on my journey. So when Sam was talking about, how he found himself first year of our school having the CGPA of I guess it was 1.10. I was in those exact shoes. The only thing is that I wasn't lucky to have a 2.2. I actually made a third class, from university days. And yeah, I saw that look on your face, James. That's how everyone looks at it. But when you fall, I saw a short video this morning. It's not about how you fall, it's about what you do when you fall. It's about reflecting on the fact that, I might have made mistakes, and why did these mistakes happen? And I don't know if my screen is now being shared, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
and
it
for
is.
me, it was for me, I started looking at, what skill sets did I have? And was there an alignment with my skill set, my interest, and where I found myself? Just maybe a little bit of backstory. I studied agriculture in school. I was a science student. I don't believe I was cut out to be a science student. That's why I found myself in human resources the past coming close to 20 years now. And I've been successful at it. I went to school to learn how to be a farmer, is what I tell people. But I was not even successful. You think farming is the easiest thing you can learn, but it has a lot of science to it. And that was not where my innate skills were supposed to be. That was not something I would have, been successful at, because that was not what I was, built to do. So I started telling people, because the biggest question I have heard from people, back from the days I'm talking about 15 years ago up till now, is how do I know what I want to do? So this is people that are starting careers, or even people that want to transition from one career to another. So what I tell them is the first thing you need to ask. So I have this thing called the dual funnel model, and it's my concept of explaining career discovery. And the first thing is, what are you good at? What do you easily know? In school, there are subjects that you were doing well at. I personally was very good at logic, sociology, the social science stuff, right? And I should have known that that was what I was cut out to do. But that is not enough, right? Because you can have a lot of skill sets. I used to tell people, maybe you see in the background, I'm into music, and I was into music from when I was, before I was a teenager. But I never saw music as something I wanted to do as a career. But it was a skill set, right? It was one of the skills I have, but it was not my interest area. I enjoyed doing it passively, but not as a career. Now, when you filter all your skill, knowledge, ability through your interest areas, then you have a pool of options. And I give an example with my current career. I'm a learning and development manager. Learning and development is almost very equal to being a teacher in school. So you have someone who is a learning consultant facilitating sessions for large organizations, being paid, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And you have a teacher who is not paid that amount of money. They're using similar skill sets, But when you look at the opportunities that exist and look at, what you want to earn, and, back to what Sam said, you become intentional about it and you start to tell yourself, so with all these opportunities that exist, what are my options? So that's you doing an environmental scan of your where you live, the business opportunities there, the career opportunities there, and then making a choice of what will be best for you. So how do I maximize the value I can bring to ensure that I'm getting the maximum amount of reward for it? So that's the way I would maybe just describe the path to starting that professional development conversation.
Amazing. Toby, before we pass it on to John, the model you showed, it was a funnel into funnel. Are you saying that you have to sort of distill? It's not open-ended because you're moving from broad and coming narrow.
Correct. So yeah, you have to distill twice. You have to do this not just once, you have to do it twice. You have to, ask those questions. And I mean, I wouldn't tell people that this is the ultimate, and the magic wand that will help you come to, a career discovery, but this is a tool that can help you just get you in the thinking process and you start to discover more about yourself and your innate abilities.
Awesome. That's fantastic. All right. So John, I used to be, what do you call it? I used to be a farmer. Do I even have any hope if I have passion for business analysis? How do I build this model, transitioning from one career to another? Is there any hope for such person, John?
Yeah, so I think career transitions are a staple when it comes to professional development, right? Because you might need to really move from one particular domain to the other. And I'm going to speak more to that later on in this conversation if we have some more time. But there's no room for impossibilities in my own dictionary. And I hope that is the same thing for people on the call today. There are no impossibilities, right? Some months ago, I saw a story on the internet about a lady that used to be a cleaner at the airport become a pilot after several years. And this reflects also in the dual funnel model that Toby has spoken to and will speak some more to. There are no impossibilities, right? The first thing that comes to mind is you cannot improve what you can't measure. And it's a very popular theme or phrase used in the world of continuous improvement, Six Sigma, for those that are familiar with things like that. You got to measure it first. So if you say, I want to go from being a farmer to being a business analyst, you need some conscious assessment. And that's where the keyword conscious plays a major role, right? So what's your current state? Where are you at right now? Are you a farmer by choice currently? What skills do you have? What knowledge do you have? What abilities do you have? Because sometimes people forget about the transferable skills. The fact that you're a farmer right now does not mean that you don't have skills that can transfer back into business analysis. And I have a very perfect example right now. So we have someone who is one of in our mentoring program currently, and he used to manage an oil palm plantation. This is just a matter of a few years ago, right? Now moving into business analysis. But in being a farmer, it was handling the business strategy for that plantation, right? It was handling the growth plans. It was doing analysis as a farmer that he did not realize, right? It was doing market benchmarking, trying to see how the competitors are doing in the market and everything. So transferable skills are one area that people don't really get a focus on, but I'll leave that for now. So the point is, you need to assess what skills do you have right now? And what is your sense of the future state? So for example, if you want to get into business analysis or into software development or any of those areas, do you even understand the kind of knowledge, the kind of skills, the kind of abilities that that particular destination requires? Right? So you need to know where you're at, where you want to get to, and the gap in between. Before you even ask yourself, how can I or how might I close the gaps between where I'm at right now and where I want to get to? It's that simple in theory, but it takes some work. So I hope that short response helps.
Absolutely. And I know it might be an extreme example of a farmer to business analysis, but thank you, John. You made really good point out of that. But I was just thinking, Toby, to come back to you and in your role as an HR, person, how should or how can organization help people really own this and help them consciously build their profession and careers? Is there a part the organization will play in that?
So I'll say that organizations create opportunities, organizations create platforms, but it's still up to the person to take advantage of it. So organizations, I have this conversation with people many times, people that are maybe just transitioning into HR roles, and I see John talk about that career transition, transferable skills. And when someone tells me, I've been 8 years in finance, and now I want to do HR, and this might apply to technology as well, so business analysis and the rest of it. I always talk about you need some level of experience. And then I tell them, where are you working now? I'm working in this certain company. My role is finance. Have you ever had a conversation with anyone in that company that you actually are interested in HR? And can they give you an opportunity to work on an HR project, or just have you job shadow somebody so that you can have that transition from where you are, the current profession you are, the department you are, to where you feel that going forward you want to move into. So the opportunities are there. You just need to start that conversation. You also, having that conversation, you also need to not have an entitlement mentality. You have to come from the point of, I have done my homework. I have done, I have someone that works on my team now who's interested in moving to another role on the team, like a more senior role. And the organization I work has this, professional development or personal development funds that they help to, support you through going back to school. So on the side, she's gone back to school. She's taking courses. I'm able to even have the conversation with her, look at the projects that she has to do in school. So those opportunities are there, whether you're trying to transition within your current profession or totally transition into something new, but you have to take advantage of it.
Amazing. That really, touched me, because at the end of the day, you're saying, Toby, your destiny is in your hands.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Correct.
John, in your experience with, working with a lot of young professionals and mentoring people, what do you see as the major bottleneck or blocker, and how can we sort of move beyond that to really begin to consciously develop ourselves in the areas that we want to see?
Yes, thanks, James. I'm trying to remember a particular quote from Jack Welch. I think it was like one of the major CEOs, the most popular CEO of GE. And he talked about, if you ask him to do some particular task, I'm going to spend 80% of the time preparing for that task. Something like that. I can't remember exactly word for word, but preparation is key. I see a lot of people don't put the time into preparing, into assessing, into researching their options. And they try one thing today, tomorrow they jump to the other thing, they also don't follow through. And one of the reasons you don't follow through is that you had no map in the first place, right? So you need the compass, you need the map. So the compass is basically going to set your direction, because sometimes you find people placing ladders against the wrong walls. And no matter how fast you climb that ladder, you are never going to get to your satisfactory destination. So first, be clear about that direction. That requires some research. That requires some mentoring as well. So a lot of people jump that stage and start to go for a particular training, attend a course there, buy a book over there, and they're all over the place. So today they are learning about DevOps. Tomorrow they're learning about business analysis. The next day they are probably doing Scrum Master training. The other day they are probably learning some Excel skills, which is fine. But do you understand the flow and how each of those things you're learning adds up to taking you towards your destination? So I see that as a major gap. Do not start your professional development journey without a plan. And there are different resources. I know that Chineye and the Binet team are planning to share a personal development template. We also have tools like the skills matrix. You need to do those self-assessment. What skills do I have? What skills does the job I really desire require that I have? Those are really important things. So those two come to mind. Have a plan, get mentoring, follow through with your plan, measure, assess, measure your progress as well.
Amazing. John, you said something towards the effect that you cannot put the ladder against the wrong wall. That it might seem like you are going up, but you are not going up to where you truly want to be. How can we know that though?
Good question.
And is there any tool or ways to be able to get that done?
So as you're speaking right now, I'm thinking, let me see if I can pull something up. So there's a Japanese concept called ikigai. So let me see if I can pull this up right quickly on my screen, and I'll share that if I can. If not, I will just keep it. So let's see here. One sec, and I'll put it up. Okay. So this concept speaks about understanding your reason for being. And for me personally, I've always leveraged this as the basis for my life decisions and investments and priorities and everything. I can't go into the details of this as much as I would like to, but to respond to you, I would say, look up this particular concept of ikigai. What it does for you is that it helps you have some anchor points to base your decisions, to help you know what wall to lean your ladder against, basically. Toby spoke about the fact that his natural inclinations went toward the scientific logical pathway, right? Toby is a big networker, right? He's extroverted. I'm not. Those things really play into how we can leverage our innate competencies or abilities for the directions we're following in life. So you need to ask yourself, what am I good at naturally? Toby spoke about that already. What does the world need? What do I love? What can I be paid for? And at different phases in your life, these different variables will guide you in different ways. I'll give an example. Of course, survival is key. So if your priority is to survive, you're not necessarily expected to focus on what you love. You can focus on what the world needs and can pay you for. So ideally, people will build their vocations around either of what can I be paid for that I'm already good at, or can I build skills around what the world needs that I don't have skills for yet. As you grow and mature and financial constraints aren't a thing for you anymore, you can start to gravitate toward what you actually love. So like Toby is into music. Toby is constantly, you can see saxophonist, guitar in the background. Those are investments. They didn't fall into his room right there. But as maybe 20 years ago, those were not his priorities. Because it was about, can I build a career? Can I, create a professional profile for myself? Can I make money? But as he achieves those goals, just like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as he achieves those goals, then he can start to invest or make decisions based on what he loves. So I'll pause there and probably leave this on the screen for a short while. But those are the things I look at when I talk about ensuring you know what wall to lean your ladder against. Amazing, John. And I see in the chat that people are really commenting to that, because often we think our ladder is on the right wall until we get to the top and realize, no, this is not what I truly want to be. Please, I will encourage people, put your questions in the chat. We still have about 5 minutes to wrap up this session. Please, if you have any questions, please put your questions up and we'll take those questions. Toby, I want to come to you. Now my ladder is on the right wall. What are the basic things that I need to do to be able to get to the top?
So getting to the top, and that's a very good question, because a lot of people start out, on the same level, but never really get to the same point within the same amount of time, right? Number one thing I want to say is networking. Many times, I'm coming from Nigeria, we will call networking who you know. And sometimes it's used wrongly in Nigeria because people unmeritedly will get positions that they're not qualified for. But in this, in the real sense of what networking does, is to help you sell your product. And this product is yourself, right? The more people that know about you, people talk about Nigeria being the place of, I think now we're nearing 200 million people, and said that if you were to have sand, just sand in a pure water sachet, and you were selling to half the number of people in Nigeria, you're already, a billionaire because of those number of people that will need that product, right? But if you understand the fact that the more people that know about your skill set, the more people that know about what you can bring to the table, the more you expand your potential opportunities, then you will not stay where you are. You'll actually go out of your comfort zone and network. The other thing I'll just touch on, because there's so many things, there's something called continuous development. Continuous improvement is used in business process terminology, is a business process terminology, but you can apply that to yourself as well. What did I know yesterday? What do I know today compared to yesterday? And you're not doing that, without having a sight or a vision. That ladder has to be on the right wall. But you have to always ask yourself, have I made further steps, from where I was yesterday? So that's continuous improvement of your career, and ensuring that you're moving higher. And networking as well is, maybe one thing I'll draw out of networking is mentoring. A lot of people do underestimate this. And honestly, I have had so many instances where I've provided free mentoring to people, but what I find is the lack of commitment. So someone reaches out to you, can you mentor me? And you say, yes, I will give you my time, all for free, but then they're not committed. So maybe that makes sense to charge for mentoring so that people are partnering with something, but just being intentional about it. If you ask for someone to be your mentor, then know why you're asking for that. And if they're giving you their time for free, also take advantage of that and make sure that helps your professional growth.
Fantastic. Thank you, Toby. One thing about networking, and we could speak more to that in other session, but I realized that even within the space of networking, go there with what can I give, not what can I always get. I'm reaching out to Toby, to John, because I want to get something. There's something that you can also give back, and it just makes the relationship better. We have a question here, and John will take this and we'll wrap up in the panel session. Timilene said, please, how do I deal with getting discouraged at not achieving goals I set for my career? How do we deal with such discouragement? When you set a goal, you have a plan, you work the plan, but you don't seem to get to where you want to get to.
Yeah, thanks, James. So I'll first say that there seems to not be any silver bullet for that. There is no one certain way that would always work. It's very contextual. But what I think is very consistent across the board is that sometimes you don't have the ability to help yourself. So like, imagine a man that has fallen into a deep pit. Sometimes you need somebody to extend the ladder into the pit for you to climb out of that. So seek help, right? Whether it's paid mentoring, not unpaid mentoring, talk to your peers, talk to people. That is very key. If you're finding that you lack motivation to see your goals through, you are probably better off sharing that with somebody else who can help you.
Amazing. Thank you,
Can
John.
I add something to that? Sorry.
Yeah, please.
I just wanted to say that the reason why John said that is the fact that there is someone else who has experienced what you're experiencing. And if you remember, one of the things that Sam said is you learn quick, something about that. And the way to learn quickly is actually learning from other people's experience, not waiting to experience all of it yourself.
Very true. Learn from other people's experience, and you could then not make the same mistake probably they made. One last question, and I will start with you, Toby, and then pass it to John, and we'll wrap up. How does one navigate from living for survival, I need to eat, I need to achieve the short-term goals, to actually making impact? That is working to make ends meet, to working for living for your passion or what the world needs. How do you sort of balance that and ensure that you are not just living for now, but you are also living for a bigger goal?
Yeah, I think the best way to answer this question is to give a very common example for people that have immigrated, whether to Canada or to the UK. There's something called survival job. If you don't have enough savings, your proof of fund was not really proof of funds, you're not able to survive on it for 6 months, which many of us couldn't, right? And you're still waiting for that job. Pick up a survival job, but never forget what you wanted to do in the first place, right? The survival job has a way of sapping all of your time, taking all of your time, making you not to focus. It's hard, but you have to remind yourself that there's a reason why I'm here. And every other thing we've talked about, that networking, having someone who can mentor you, having people you can learn from, they will help you ensure that you don't drop the ball when it comes to why you are actually here, your actual professional goal. And ultimately, you find yourself transitioning into that and being successful at it. And one thing I'll say is, people, we've got to stay positive. Many times people fail before they fail. They fail because every other person has told them, I was in your situation and I failed. But if you stay positive, there is limitless amount of things that you can achieve if you can only stay positive.
Amazing. Thank you, Tori. John.
Yes, I was just looking at the chat, James, and I see one of Bina Learning's coaches, I said, about the last question, also make your goals smart. And I was just going to speak to that. And that helps across board, but I'll come back to that. Survival. If you are at the bottom of that hierarchy of needs, you got to take care of that. You cannot be selective when you're looking to survive. That's just the reality. So when you say, well, my first love is, modern arts and music. If it's not going to pay your bills, dude, do something, right? You need to focus, just like that ikigai, right? What can I get paid for? That is where you start. You can build capacity to go do what you love if you are getting paid already, right? So just adding to what Toby said, you've got to be very realistic with yourselves. You've got to calibrate your plans based on where you are at, not based on where Toby or James are. It's just important, because when you look at them, there's a saying, in my language, in Yoruba, that says that don't look at another person's horse to determine how fast you should run. This other person is on a horse, is riding a horse, and you're trying to use them to calibrate or benchmark how fast you running on foot, or you should be running. It doesn't make sense, right? So look at where you are at. Also be humble about it. Sometimes our egos, our pride deny us opportunities that can help us survive and give us that initial, foundation or stepping stone to climb to where we're going. Understand that journeys have milestones and transitions along the way. So the fact that I want to travel from here to Toronto to go see Raheem doesn't mean that if I'm driving, that is going to be a straight shot, right? I might have stopovers in Winnipeg, right? And stopovers elsewhere. I've got to recognize those stopovers, that they are part of the journey, they are in the destination, and that is just important.
Amazing. Toby, John, you guys are a blessing to our generation, and we thank you. Thank you for taking the time. There are many, many other questions coming through, but we'll pass that on. But for the sake of time, we'll wrap it up in the panel session. But I want to say thank you so much, Toby, and thank you so much, John.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, James.
All right. I believe that's it for today. But what an amazing day we've had. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Of course, we would say thank you to everybody and allow Tosan as well to come back and speak to some of the other things we have planned for tomorrow. But really want to say thank you for the notes and presentation. We cannot thank enough Raheem, Folusho, Tosin, Chinae, Toby, Sam. We cannot thank you enough. You guys have been a blessing to this world, to your generation, and we are blessed to know you. All right. But before we sign off, we still have more prizes. Tosin, These prices are never going to finish. So let's do a little bit more price giving. So let's go for it, Tosin.
Yes, it was to the most engaging participants, even
There
the
you
ones in the
go.
rooms. And, we've really had such a great time and lots of information. And these are the most engaging participants. We have Sakirat, we have Happiness, Francis, Ozioma, and Faith. Congratulations to those winners. And a member of the team will be reaching out to you. James, there's something that is quite passionate to me that a question was asked that I think, we just quickly just talk to that. And it's about finances. I know that finances are really very important going forward in 2023. And one of the things that was said was, what kind of investment opportunities should people take advantage of? And it was just a one-word answer. I think if Tosin is still there, if she can just quickly just Tosin is from Money Africa, if I'm correct, and she just Tosin, are you there? Okay, if we don't have Tosin, well, all our speakers from the panel rooms, if you send in your questions, we'll make sure that you get answers to those. So we'll also, if you continue to watch our social media pages, we'll have master classes that involve all our speakers during 2023. So please follow us and keep informed of what we're doing. Back to you, James.
Thank you, Tosin. And we must bring Rahim back. We must bring Folusho back. We must bring Tosin back. There is no way these guys will not come back, because I know a lot of the guys will want, and people that joined today will want to hear again from them. What we'll try to do, like you said, Tosin, is to have them in a master class, for more time, so that we can have more engaging and interactive time together than it seems like Tosin, the breakout room really came fast and it went, and people still wanted to be part of it.
Yeah, definitely. People still wanted it, and people had questions. So we will definitely have people come. So I hope you took a lot of notes from those presentations. We have more tomorrow. We have Sam coming back. So Sam did give us homework. Let's think about that. And I think that's the good thing about 2 days. You have today to think about some things you heard today, and you come on tomorrow, type in those questions. Even if we don't have those speakers, we'll have them connect with you. And all of our speakers are on LinkedIn. These are people that, as Toby said, they can be faraway mentors that you can connect with. So I don't think that will be a problem. Another thing we should do is have action points coming out of this. So yeah, I think any closing words from you, James?
No, I just want to thank everybody for joining, Tosin. It's amazing to see the number of people that joined, the level of engagement and contribution. To our speakers, we want to say thank you. And like you said, Tosin, this is just part 1. So part 2 is tomorrow. We want to see everybody that joined today, join tomorrow. We also want you to engage with us on our social media platform. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn. Please engage with BNet Learning on the social media platforms. We are also very active on YouTube. I did mention before our YouTube channel. Please take time to go onto that side and get materials that you can use. For tomorrow, we're starting at 12. Is it 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which will be 8 p.m. West African time. Tomorrow we're starting off at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 8 p.m. West African time. Let's be on time. There's a lot of goodies also and prizes tomorrow. So, early birds and people engaging, all of that we would definitely share with you tomorrow. And obviously we'll have some and many other speakers tomorrow. So please be part of that. And we look forward to seeing you engage with us on our social media platform. But for myself and from Tosin, we say thank you for joining today. We'll see everybody again tomorrow. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.